You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Well, it's Wednesday night, people, and you know what that means. It means it's time for just another sports podcast here on the Sports Objective Podcasting Network. Joined, as always, by my co-host, the head coach from Northeast Academy in Lasker, North Carolina, Mr. Stevie Fly. Stevie, how you doing?
Doing good, bud. How about you?
Oh, like a booger, just hanging in there. And we are joined tonight by a legend in not only in Eastern North Carolina for Pirate football, but also up in Massachusetts for those New England Patriots, Mr. Tony Collins. Tony, welcome in to the show.
Thanks.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Thanks for having me.
We go through this every week. You almost made it the whole way through, Kyle.
Yeah, I know my introduction skills are terrible. Every week I screw it up. Every week, it never either the intro or the close. I screw it up somehow. So, but anyway, Tony, glad to have you with us. You're always full of wit, knowledge, and very entertaining. So we expect nothing less out of you tonight. So we're gonna start off, if you don't mind. I've heard the story. Some listeners maybe have too. If you have, you're gonna hear it again. If you haven't, pull up a chair and enjoy it. So tell us all how you got to Greenville, North Carolina from New York.
Oh, wow.
How did Pat Dye get you to be a Pirate?
How did Pat Dye get to me? You got to go back to understand my story. I'm from a family of 16, and I had never been on an airplane before. This is my senior year in high school, and I had like 3 visits. A couple of visits was up in the state of New York with Syracuse and a couple other schools, and my 4th visit was to the University of Florida. So I get to fly for the very first time in my life, and I'm very excited. So I get on the airplane, get down to Florida. I'm more excited about the airplane than I am about the trip. But I get down there, man, and it's perfect. My high school colors are orange and blue. Florida's orange and blue. They gave me an offer. Back then, you signed a letter of intent, and I signed a letter of intent. So I'm going to the University of Florida, and that was my 4th visit. So your senior year, you get 5 official visits. And I had another visit, but I wasn't going to take it because, my mind was made up. I'm going to the University of Florida. And I get back home, I think on that Sunday, and Monday afternoon or sometime Monday, ECU calls me. And it's Pat Dye. And I get on the phone with him, and he asked me, would I like to take a visit to East Carolina? And the first thing I said was, who? East Carolina? This is 1977 now, yeah. So I've never heard of East Carolina before. And I said, my first question to him was, are you going to fly me now? And he said, yeah, we're going to fly you. I was like, hell yeah, I'm coming. I get to get on the airplane for twice in a week. And so the only thing I was coming to East Carolina for was the visit. The trips were a lot of fun, and of course I get to get on the airplane for the second time. And the player that took me out was Ruffin McNeil. And we had a fantastic time, man. And we became friends that moment, and we kept being friends for until today. But I go to Parker's. The Parker's right on Memorial. And Pat Dye and me, Ruffin, Pat Dye, and I think it was another coach there. I'm not sure. But anyway, Pat Dye goes to me. He says, son, if you come here, you get an opportunity to play, and you get an opportunity to play in the NFL. And that's all he had to say to me, because the coach in Florida, they were thinking about, they said, well, we might redshirt you because we're full of running backs right now, so we might redshirt you. That wasn't a problem. But Pat Dye said, I'm going to get the chance to play in the NFL. The coach at Florida didn't say that. So I called home. I talked to my mom, my dad, my brothers. I said, I don't think I want to go to Florida anymore. I want to go to East Carolina. My father says, get back on the plane and come home. You don't know what you're talking about. Because they never heard of East Carolina either.
Yeah, at that time,
And
no.
so
Yeah.
I get home and my mind is pretty much made up. I want to play for Pat Dye, man. For some, man, he's I always talk to kids about your words have power, and his words had power with me. And man, I want to go to East Carolina. My father says I heard of North Carolina and I heard of South Carolina, but where in the hell is East Carolina? Wasn't on the map, but we put East Carolina on the map, man, and the rest is history.
You mentioned Ruffin and being your host, so you had a hand in recruiting you, so to speak, in a way.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about before the show about transfer portal, and it just made me think how well and he's still in coaching. He's at NC State, so he probably has a hand in it now. But man, I just got to think Ruffin McNeil would be able to work the transfer portal like pretty damn good because he's such a likable guy. Kids always were able to relate to him. What quick thoughts on that? I mean, how do you think Ruffin and he may be doing it at NC State? I know he's an assistant coach there, but how do you think Ruffin would work the transfer portal? Or how successful do you think he would be as a head coach working the transfer portal?
I think he would be very successful. I mean, the way that portal is now, kids are coming because they want to come and play for a coach, or they're coming to play for an opportunity to play.
Or money.
A lot of times they're where they are, they're not playing, and so with the portal and having Ruffin, at this time at East Carolina, I just can't even imagine the players that he can get. I mean, I'm wondering why Coach Houston is not getting into that portal. I don't know how many portal guys that we got this year, but it's not many. It's not enough. We are really lacking offensive line. We're lacking skilled players as far as
receiver. Yeah,
just way behind the needle. This year, and it shows, man. You can have the best coaches, but you don't have any players, man. It's going to be hard to win games.
No, you're right, and we've talked about that at nauseum. That we got a couple of receivers out of the portal. Only one of them's playing so well. A kid from Colorado. He's pretty good. He's young. But besides that, we had the receiver from Kansas who hadn't seen the field yet. He got mono back in August. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. We got, I'm guessing altogether, Tony. And Bubba, he may, he's backstage producing. He may know the number, but I guess in total, I think offense, defense from December and then post spring, I think maybe we got 10 guys out of the portal.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's not anymore. It's not when we had the amount of turnover we had. So, you got to take more. So you come to East Carolina, Pat Dye gets you here. You talk about you went to, first you mentioned going to Parker's. What were your first impressions of Eastern North Carolina barbecue?
When they said we're going to Parker's, when Ruffin said we're gonna go to Parker's, and I said what's kind of restaurant? He says barbecue. So I'm from up north. I was
thinking
raised
ribs.
up north. And so when you say barbecue, I'm thinking barbecue chicken, some ribs, stuff like that. But they brought out that shredded up meat. I've never seen it before.
They didn't give it to you like that. The best way to hand that to somebody who ain't never had it before, give it to them on a sandwich.
I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not gonna say it was bad. It was just different.
Are you still not a big fan of it?
I'm still not a big fan of the barbecue.
Really? Why?
Wow.
I'm just not. I mean, I'll eat it if that's the dish for the night.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I have been to Parker's other times, but only time I've gone to Parker's is when somebody has invited me.
Parker's is not a sponsor.
I've never said in my life, honey, let's go to Parker's.
Parker's is not a sponsor on the Sports Objective, and now they probably never will be.
Never will be now. We don't know anyway.
but I'm not knocking Parker's.
I like Bees. You ever had Bees barbecue?
Yeah, I mean it's okay, man, but it's just not.
He is not a fan of barbecue.
Do you like?
He's saying it in a nice way.
You prefer brisket or ribs? I mean, if you're going to do barbecue, you can choose any style. Would it be Memphis style? What would it be?
It'd be Memphis style.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that too. Honestly, don't tell anybody it's top secret, but that's actually my favorite too. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell them.
In a nice way. Just kind of say in a nice way. He is not a fan of barbecue.
Hey, you guys
no, I am.
Hey, you guys think Parker's going to give you a sponsorship?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
we do. That's a done deal now.
Parker's. There was a barbecue restaurant in Williamston called Porky's.
Yeah.
Who's done some sponsorship with us, but
don't let him say anything about that. Now. He's a sponsor.
Well, they ain't our sponsor now, but they have been in the past. But no, I don't think Parker's is coming on now. But we'll get you. It'd just be brilliant. You picture it now. Tony Collins should do a commercial for Parker's barbecue. It just I've been sitting there at the restaurant. It's good.
This is good.
Yeah. Touchdown, Tony Collins approves. Yeah. All right, so you weren't impressed with Parker, so thank God Pat Dye mentioned the NFL. Got a barbecue on to do it.
Yeah, I would.
You didn't come for the food.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you, man. If Pat Dye wouldn't have gave me that line, I would have went to Florida. Seriously.
Normally I would say the girls, but Gainesville, Florida's got pretty good girls too. So
everything was perfect down there. I mean, it was nice. It was a nice visit here too. When I came to East Carolina, man, everything was great except Parker's. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so
the owners of Parker's right now sitting here watching this.
we got to send this. We need to send this to them. Kind of that reverse psychology to get a sponsorship. They're gonna do. What can we do to win Tony over?
We're talking about him a lot, man. That's
true. Hey,
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Well, I've heard that before, Stevie. I don't know. There's some truth to that, but there is bad publicity.
Hey, we got to.
I put it to you this way: they're doing something right because they've been open since I don't know how long they've been open, but 1977 when I got here.
And
they're still open.
And that's not even the original. The original was in Wilson.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
We got a couple of comments.
All right.
Justin Butts is out there said good evening, but Brad Williams said. And I think we talked a little bit about this off the air. If the Pirates win against SMU, will Tony jump in the Tar River? Which we had this discussion a little bit before we went on the air. So if the Pirates win against SMU, are you going to jump in the Tar River?
If the Pirates beat SMU on Thursday, tomorrow,
yeah.
I would jump in the Tar River butt naked if the Pirates beat SMU.
There you go.
Right there, guys.
We're still in Pirate Radio's gimmick.
That's a guarantee. If the Pirates win tomorrow night, I'm jumping in the Tar River.
Right after eating at Parker's barbecue, he's going to jump in the Tar River.
There you go. He's going to eat at Parker's and then make himself throw up in the Tar River.
Wow.
No. Hey, look, I like Parker's.
Funny, man.
But all right, there you go. You got the guarantee. So that's how confident that Tony is that we are not.
You got it, Brad. You heard it right here.
I just don't see it, man.
I'm
hoping I will jump in, but I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
12.5 points. SMU favored by 12.5 now.
Last I saw it was 9.5. I don't know.
9.5. Okay.
That's the last I saw. I haven't checked the line the last day, but it went from 7.5 to 12.5, and then back down to 9.5. Last I saw. So it moved a lot at first. When it first came out at 7, it jumped to 12.5 in a hurry. But I don't foresee us pulling the upset. But you know what? That's why they play the games. Who knows?
Exactly.
Turnovers happen. Run some gadget plays. Who knows? Maybe we'll play another. Maybe we'll play a third quarterback. Who knows? So you get here at 77, or that's when you take. So you come in fall 77. Talk about your first year here.
Oh man, it was it was, me being from New York, the guys gave me a lot of, I wasn't going to say the cuss word, but a
You
lot of
can.
stuff.
There's no
Because
FCC here on these Sports Objective. You're good. You can say it.
they
They
didn't
give
think
you a lot of shit. They got you.
they they didn't think I was able to play. I'm from New York, so they think I'm a New York boy. Only people come from New York can play basketball. So, but the one thing that I didn't, I had to adjust to was the humidity, the heat. And so I remember the first practice. They had been riding me. First practice with pads because they had been riding me the whole time, doing conditioning and everything. But the first practice in full pads, man, and we had to run. And I'm gonna tell you, Pat Dye, we did a lot of running with Pat Dye. We were in shape. But that first day, man, I almost fell out. I really did, but I wasn't gonna let nobody see me almost fall out because I did.
Did they really restrict water back then, or is that more of a myth?
It's more of a myth. I think we had water breaks there. So we didn't have the jugs that they have coming to you. We had this big little thing with all the different sprouts coming out of it. You have to go off the field to get water, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So only time you had a water break was when the coaches let you have a water break. You just couldn't take a play and then have water right there. So it wasn't bad. Nobody died, nobody fell out, so it wasn't bad. But it was tough. I had to get used to that humidity. It only took me like maybe 2 or 3 days to really get used to it. So it wasn't too bad.
Good thing you didn't go to Florida, so humidity's even worse down there.
Yeah.
And all right. So you
barbecue place.
So what? Would you say, Stevie?
They don't have a Parker's in Florida either.
No, I don't know. What is Gainesville known for? I guess seafood. I would think.
Yeah.
Florida seafood. All right. So, without having your stats here in front of me, how did you do your first year here? I mean, I don't.
My first year, they had Willie Hawkins, Theodore Sutton, and Eddie Hicks were the starters. We had a good backfield. Sam Harrell was there. Mike Hawkins was my roommate. We were on the team. I didn't play a lot my freshman year, but they put me in the game a couple times when we had the league. But my thing was I had to learn to block, and so when I was in high school, I didn't have to block. I was just running the ball. And so at East Carolina, we ran the wishbone, and the thing is, I thank God for Eddie Hicks, because Eddie taught me how to block. Because in the wishbone, if you didn't block for Pat Dye, you weren't going to play. And so I missed a few blocks, doing training camp, and maybe missed a few blocks during the game. I get in, and I had to learn to block. And Eddie Hicks would take me to the side a few times, and, give me some pointers, because being a blocking back in the wishbone, you had to make cut blocks, and you cut that guy in the wishbone is off and running. So I had to learn how to do that, and I think I'm very thankful to my good friend Eddie, may he rest in peace, for helping me, because I without him helping me. And Coach Dye, he was a stickler, man. He's not gonna give anybody no type of anything. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're not gonna play.
If you don't block, you ain't gonna touch the ball.
There it is. Yeah. So I learned to block.
Yeah, I got you. And in that wishbone offense, you got to.
Yeah.
So next year, 78, Independence Bowl team. You contribute. Let me ask you something. I remember watching by the way, if anybody hadn't seen the 78 Independence Bowl, it is actually on YouTube, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
During that game, if I remember right, they called you AC. Is that
AC,
what you went by when you were here?
That was my name. My name was Anthony Collins.
Right, Tony Anthony, yeah.
Yeah, so they called me AC. And that was it, man. I was AC at ECU, and man, at the Independence Bowl, I think I scored twice, but Eddie Theodore Sutton had the big game. I think he got MVP that game because he had like 100 and some yards rushing and maybe a touchdown. And just had Theodore had a great game that game.
What do you what else stands to you about that 78 season besides obviously the Independence Bowl? Anything in particular jump out at you?
I mean, playing the I think we played Carolina and maybe State. I'm not sure, but I can't. I'm almost positive it was Carolina, and we played them, and instead of them going for the victory, they kicked a field goal to tie it at the end. I remember that. I'm almost positive it was my sophomore year. It wasn't my sophomore year. It had to be my junior year after playing North Carolina. And that was one of the things because back then, man, we hated North Carolina and we hated North Carolina State.
Man, we still do.
Yeah, we still do. And so I mean, they just thought they were better than us, and we never played them at home. We always had to go to their field. So it was just a fact of just seeing them not going for the victory and kicking a field goal to get the tie. And we had a tie that year, I think it was. I think it was 78.
79.
79. Okay.
Carolina was ranked 15th in the nation at that time too.
Yep.
And Pirates tied them. So we're talking about. So we go to 79 season. The Carolina game obviously stands up to you. Did Pat leave after 78 or did he leave after 79?
He left after 79.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he was there at 79.
No, wait a minute. 79. He was there because that was my last year playing for him.
Okay, so you talked about the Carolina game. No bowl in 79, but any other games stand out to you during that year?
I mean, I remember games where we led the nation in rushing that year.
Yeah.
I think I had like a 7.6 yards a carry or something like that. Eddie had like six yards to carry. Theodore had like maybe 5 yards to carry. Man, we were ripping people, man. They couldn't keep up with it. And we had Leander Green, who was a killer with the wishbone. So we had a great offense, and man, it was just fun playing my junior year. And man, it was heartbreaking when I knew that Coach Dye was going to leave and go to Wyoming.
So you you played 1 year for Ed Emery.
My last year, 1980.
What were your thoughts on Coach Emery?
Man, let me tell you. And it's not.
I'm scared you. I'm scared you're gonna compare him to Parker's Barbecue.
Parker's Barbecues get more free commercials tonight than even.
I know, man. They should be y'all sponsor. But with Pat Dye leaving, and I remember, and I still remember to this day when he brought me in the office and told me that he was leaving, and I cried. I cried like a little baby, man, because he was the reason I came to East Carolina.
Yeah.
And so, and when Ed Emery, and it wasn't Ed Emery. If any coach would have came in there, I wasn't gonna like him. So, but when Ed Emery came in, and Ed was a big guy, man, and so his appearance right then, Pat Dye would look like a football player, and Ed Emery probably was a football player too, but he didn't look like a football player as a head coach, and it wasn't really that. I was upset because Pat Dye had left, so I was, and it's my senior year. And so I had to be a leader, man. And I remember doing winter conditioning. When he came in after the season, and we started winter conditioning, and I was really upset. I didn't, still thinking about Coach Dye, and winter conditioning started, and he Ed Emery kind of pulls me to the side and says, you're my leader, and I need you. And when he said that, I was thinking about was team, and being a leader, and we didn't have a great year. We had lost a few players. Our offensive line wasn't that great.
Y'all should have hit the portal.
Huh?
Y'all should have hit
portal.
The portal.
Yeah, we should have. I think we only won like 4 games that year. I'm not really sure. But yeah, man, it was tough. But Ed Emery, man, he's a great coach. He was a great person. And after I left, he did some things here at ECU and won some games and played. And my senior year, we started playing Florida State. We started playing University of Miami, a couple other big schools. We had never played those schools before. And we did okay. They didn't beat us like a drum. The only team that beat us like a drum was Florida State. I remember that game. That game that I returned the opening kickoff like 105 yards.
Yeah.
And we're up 7-0, man. And this is Florida State at Florida State, and we're going wild. And the final score was 63-7.
Yeah, I hate games like that. I seen a few of them. You start off hot, you think you're gonna do something, and yeah, it's so fun. Yeah. So Ed had a couple good seasons after that. 82 was the winning season, and everybody remembers the 83 team. But so you go into the second round of the NFL draft. You go to the Patriots, and Stevie, you take it from here, my friend.
Yeah. So the draft is back then nowhere near the spectacle it is today.
No.
But besides New England, what other teams were you hearing from?
The team that really kind of they actually brought me in for a little tryout was the Redskins. Oh. And my agent was like, "Yeah, the Redskins, they're really interested in you. They really want you." And they said, if you're available in the 4th or the 5th round, they're going to take you in the 4th or the 5th round. And I'm like, it don't matter to me. I don't care where I go. I just want to get there. And so I'm thinking, I'm going to go to the Redskins in the 4th or the 5th round. Of course, I watched the whole entire draft in my apartment my senior year. I remember watching it on my black and white TV. I had a 12-inch black and white TV, man. I tell this story to kids, and it was like 12-inch black and white.
Oh,
TV.
yeah.
I had one too. I had one.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I had.
My Atari on it.
Exactly. That was what we had one in me and my brother's bedroom. It was like maybe a 12-inch with the rabbit ears, and we put tinfoil on the rabbit ears. So.
Oh man, I remember one time my rabbit ears broke, and we were when I was a small youngster, we were real poor, and and I remember my mama taking on my dad. I don't know who the hell did it. I know I wouldn't have thought to do it. I was probably 7 years old, taking a damn wire coat hanger.
Yeah,
and rigging it up as the antenna. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
the thing was, my TV the knob had broken, and I had to turn it with the pliers.
I did that. Look, let me tell you this now. We didn't have no such thing as cable around here. This little town I was in, so we had to go outside and we didn't have one of the fancy little rotors that you could turn the stuff inside.
Turn the antenna manually.
We had to go outside with a pipe wrench and turn the thing. And if you were home alone, you had to raise the window to where the TV was, turn the TV up loud enough so you could hear it. All right, it sounds like it's coming in clear then.
That's
God
funny.
forbid it was raining outside, or you were just out of luck. But yeah, I've done all that. The coat hanger, the aluminum foil. We've tried a little bit of everything to pick up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, so you get picked second round, and this is didn't the Jets? I mean, not the Jets. Patriots just picked a running back in the first round the year before. That was
Vegas Ferguson. Yeah,
and that is a name that I think you pretty much took him over really quick, didn't you?
Yeah, my rookie season when I got in, they drafted me to return kicks because they had drafted Vegas the year before. They also had, I don't know if you remember this guy, Horace Ivory from Oklahoma. He was a second string running back. So they had a good backfield, but they drafted me to return kicks. And so when I got to New England, I was third string running back. I've never been third string running back before, and I tell this story all the time to the young kids, is that in my mind, I'm thinking I'm the first string running back because that's how I was. I felt that I was able to compete with Vegas or in Horace and all of them, man. I'm there. My thing was I just had to learn the system and not make mistakes, because as a rookie, you make mistakes in the backfield, miss a block, man. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to put you back in there. So during training camp, the guys were, after practice, they would go down to the bar, and then I wasn't drinking at all anyway, so I wasn't going to the bar. I stayed in my room, look at the playbook, just learning the playbook and making sure I don't make mistakes. And then doing the extra, I'm making sure I'm ready whenever it's time for me to come in. I remember Steve Rogan, took me in, and he would actually stay out after practice for about 10, 15 minutes and throw routes to me, and also coming out of the backfield and just being able to catch the ball, because at East Carolina, I didn't catch the ball. They didn't throw the ball to us. I mean, we didn't throw the ball hardly at all.
Right.
But I had, not that I wasn't able to catch. I just wanted to get that perfection down to make sure I'm an all around back. I already knew how to block. I knew how to run, but now I got to make sure that I don't drop no passes. And I just had a good rookie camp. And the second week of training camp, Horace Ivory goes down and he twists his ankle or something, I can't remember. And then the last week of training camp, Vegas Ferguson gets hurt. So now I'm the only healthy running back to start the season against the Baltimore Colts. I think I had like maybe 84 yards that game and a few catches out of the backfield, and the rest was history. And I took Vegas's job and got Rookie of the Year there.
You end up with 873 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns. And talking about the catches, 26 catches for 232 yards. Talk a little bit. There's another local guy that played with you from nearby Weldon. What about Cedric Jones? How was it playing with Cedric Jones?
CJ, oh man, it was, man. CJ's a great guy. We're still friends today. I also played with Ron Wooten from Kinston. So I mean, Ron and CJ. George Crump was on the team too. May he rest in peace as well. So I had some people that I knew on the team when George came there. That's my second year. But yeah, man, it was special. It was like a dream come true to me to actually. To be honest with you, when New England Patriots drafted me, I had no idea. I knew they were in New England, but I had no idea what city they were in or nothing.
And then they took you and got some barbecue.
And then Parker's Barbecue came to New England.
They got you some clam. I don't know what are they? The clam chowder. I don't know.
Clam chowder. That's it.
Yeah.
So, which team do you consider that was your biggest rival back then? And you had the AFC East. It was different back then because you had the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bills,
and the
you
Colts.
Guys, and the Colts. What team did you consider to be your biggest rival back then?
It was definitely Miami. We would always beat them at home, but we could never beat them down in Miami. And we had a battle. And then Marino came in, and it was definitely a battle playing against those guys. And so that became a big rivalry while I was there. And we got the opportunity to, our Super Bowl run.
Yeah,
we got the opportunity to play them in Miami for the AFC Championship game. Nobody thought we were going to beat them. Nobody thought we were going to even make it to the playoffs. We slipped in the playoffs, and all our games were away. We played the Jets, but beat them, and then went to the Raiders. Nobody thought we were going to beat the Raiders, and so now we got Miami, and Chicago was a powerhouse, and Miami was the only team to beat Chicago that year during the regular season, and so everybody thought it was going to be Chicago and Miami in the Super Bowl, but everybody except us.
Were you on the team when Matt Millen punched the owner of the Patriots?
That's the Raider game.
Yeah, I thought that was the game. Yeah, Matt Millen goes out and punches the owner of the Patriots. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
but
Matt
our
Millen
owner
was,
said something to him, man. You know, he was celebrating. I don't know what he said to Matt Millen, but he said the wrong thing.
And he punched the owner.
yeah, right there on the field. After
what
the
happened?
game.
I mean, what were the repercussions?
I don't think
I forgot what the
I
repercussions
don't know. I don't know if there are any repercussions back then because it was just a quick little thing. I mean, he didn't hit him to knock him out or anything.
No.
It was but he got a lick in.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when owners would actually come down there in the middle of all that. But it wasn't Robert Kraft. But anyway, one of your best games, and I don't know if you consider this your best game as a pro, but the 83 game against the Jets, 212 yards rushing against the sack exchange. Talk a little bit about that game. What was that? What you consider your best game as a pro?
Yeah, it was. You have one of those games. You hear the basketball players talking about. The rim looked like it was 12 inches. And it was, man. It was just I was just in the zone. It seemed like every time I got the ball, I had big gashing holes. And running behind one of the best linemen in football was pretty easy too, John Hanna. Yeah. So. It was fun, man, and that record is still standing today. So I don't know if that's gonna ever be broke.
And I'm glad you mentioned John Hanna, but you talk about that 85 season, that run, getting past Miami, getting over that hump at Miami, and getting to the Super Bowl. How crazy was the atmosphere that week of the Super Bowl? Because I know everybody all the media was talking about Jim McMahon and all this stuff. But how crazy was it for you guys that week? Wasn't that Louisiana?
Yeah, down in New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
It was a great time. It's something that I'll never forget. And I'll never forget because we stayed in the same hotel. I forget the name of the hotel, but it had to be a big one. Right down, not too far from the dome, and so the Bears stayed, and we all stayed in the same hotel. And so we had curfew all during the week, and so we had to be in our rooms at 11 o'clock. This was all during the week, so we'd be coming in, and the Bears player will be going out. Like, what the hell is going on, man?
Yeah, I've heard some stories about what the Bears did that week too.
What was your curfew? You guys,
they partied on us and they beat us and partied on us again.
No offense, but that was, as a kid, I was all about football, and I was all about the Super Bowl, watching the Super Bowl. That game was probably one of the most boring games I've ever watched in my life, especially a Super Bowl, because I was like, good Lord, are they going to ever let up on these guys? Of course, and Tony Eason, your quarterback, and then they put, they put Steve Grogan in. And I'll tell you this, watching, as a kid, I'm a Steelers fan. I have been since I was a kid, but watching Steve Grogan on YouTube in the earlier days, Steve Grogan was a heck of a quarterback. Yeah, and the fact that they put him in to take the rest of that torture that day, I was like, gosh, no, you are doing this cat wrong here, because he got demolished on some of this, which Tony Eason did too.
Well, here's the thing, Tony Eason had got hurt early in that year, and Steve Grogan had came in and played maybe like 6 or 7 games at the end of the season, and he helped us get in the playoffs. Without Steve, we wouldn't have even gotten the playoffs. But then Tony Eason got healthy during the playoffs, so they started Tony doing the Jets game. I truly believe until this day, if we would have started Steve that game, or if we would have started Steve throughout the playoffs, and he started in that game, it would. I think it would have been. I'm not going to say we would have beat them, but it would have been a better game, because I'm going to be totally honest with you. And I love Tony Eason, but that game he was scared shitless, man.
Tell me this now, and I don't know how much you can get into this. I know they were known as some trash talkers. Who was the biggest trash talker on the field for the Bears that day?
Wilbur Marshall.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall talked the whole game, and there's a few other guys. I can't think of the Richard Dent, McMichaels. McMichaels actually played,
Mongo.
Mongo
actually played for the Patriots.
later, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, he actually played for the Patriots before he went to.
That's right. He sure did.
Went to Chicago, and so I knew Steve, but yeah, man, they beat us up pretty bad. It was tough. It was a tough game, and, but you look at it, I think our Super Bowl was playing against the Dolphins, and man, beating them was like a getting over the hump, and then the Bears come out with the Super Bowl shuffle, and they're dancing, and they had a great team, man. They had one of the best defenses. I think I haven't seen a defense that dominant since then. In the league, there's been a lot of great defenses in the league since then, but they had a defense that was very good.
You won't hear this much out of me being a Steelers fan, but I honestly was pulling for you guys got on that run. I was pulling for the Patriots that year. That was pre-Belichick and Brady, so I could handle you guys back then, pulling for you guys, especially with the ECU guy on the team. I remember as a kid, I think it was because I was a card collector and going through the cards like I did and pulling up a Tony Collins. Okay, that's the ECU guy. And I think you and Tootie Robbins?
Tootie Robbins, yeah.
Yeah, they were the first two ECU cards I got, ECU and the pros I got that I remember getting. But, what about Raymond Berry as a coach? How was he as a coach? I know he took over for Ron Meyer halfway through one year, but how was he as a coach?
No question about it. He was the reason we went to the Super Bowl. He taught us how to win, man. My memory, my rookie year with Ron Earhart, we were 2-14. It was terrible. It was a good rookie year for me, personal as an individual. But man, losing 14 games, man, it was just so frustrating. And every game and the bad part about it was nobody killed us. We were in every game, but we would always find a way to lose the game at the end. And when Raymond came in, replacing Coach Myers, man, he came in already with everybody's full respect because he's a Hall of Famer. He's Raymond Berry. But not only that, the way he coached us, he taught us how to win. The thing that was so crazy, we would always have fumble drills. Everybody had to do a fumble drill. If you're a lineman, you got to do a fumble drill. If you're a quarterback, you got to learn how to get on the fumble. That year, we led the league in turnovers because he just taught differently and taught us how to win. And without him, we wouldn't have never got to the Super Bowl.
Definitely. And we've actually got a question coming in. I want to know if you ever played what you did in college, and I'm sure you did in the pros. Did you ever play against Lawrence Taylor?
Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you, LT, my sophomore, I think it was my sophomore year. Man, we were killing Lawrence Taylor at North Carolina. I mean, he was not that player until my junior year. My junior year, man, he was I don't know what happened to him. But he was hard. We couldn't block him. I mean, he was all over the place. And so we came out the same year, 81, as rookies. And Lawrence Taylor is Lawrence Taylor. He won the baddest linebackers to ever play the game. But playing against him in college for 2 years, I played against him 2 years in college. But the very first year, man, I was like, Lawrence Taylor, he ain't nobody. But his junior year, man, he was a beast after that.
All right.
Tony, I was looking at your Wikipedia page, and it's always a great place to go do research. Never any mistakes on Wikipedia. So
I just added part owner of Parker's Barbecue up there on his
There you go. That's great. You should edit this page and do that, Stevie. That'd be fantastic. But I noticed I was looking at your arena football league stat. Well, first of all, talk about you playing in the arena league, and then there was something that stood out to me. That was the early days of the arena league. Were players going both ways? Because you're credited with interceptions.
Both ways, man. We played both ways. I that was against my first team and was, I think, the Orlando Predators. I can't remember.
The Miami Hooters is what it says.
The Hooters.
Yeah, but I played for they had an Orlando team.
Yeah, they did. I remember.
My first time playing was against Orlando. So I'm from Sanford, Florida, and so my parents had moved down to Sanford, and I was going to coach. And so that was I was going to do. And I got up there. I coached for one day.
And you decided you were better than everybody that was playing.
I think I can still play this in this league. And I played 3 years in that league.
Did you? What was it like transitioning from traditional football to the arena game?
It was a lot of fun, to be honest with you. It's a fun game. It's a fast game. You score a lot of points. Short field is short. It was fun. I mean, I was at the end. My knees were getting bad, but I think I played. I played 1 year with the Orlando Predators, and I played 1 year with the Cincinnati Rockers, and I think I played another. My last year was with the Miami Hooters.
Wonder who their sponsors were.
And we would always go. We ate free at Hooters.
Nice. Nice.
Can't beat that.
Oh man, that's funny.
Okay, so we talked about your career. We've talked about, and we touched on it a little bit, this year's football team, but we'll talk about it a little bit more as we start to wrap things up here. Obviously we're struggling on offense. You've kind of seen what we all have seen. Offensive line woes. Not a lot of depth at receiver. Maybe could use some creativity with the offensive play calling.
Who's our offensive coordinator?
Huh?
I said, who's our offensive coordinator?
I don't. Donnie Kirkpatrick. By title, anyway. Do you? I mean, we talked before the show, but do you think are the pieces there to turn it around this season, or do you think the season's kind of a wash?
I'll tell you what. If we pull off a victory tomorrow night, then it can be turned around. But that's that. I just don't see it. I've been watching. I watched all the games on TV that we played this year, and we're struggling, man. I mean, I really thought that Garcia was going to come in because I had watched him practice. I think it was last year. When Holton was here, but I mean, the kid has size. I mean, he can run the ball, he can throw the ball, but I just don't know. He just hasn't connected. I don't know if he's connected with the offensive coordinator. I don't know what it is, but
he looks scared to me when he gets in the game.
Yeah, I mean that could be it too. I mean, this is his first time starting, but he's been here for what, 2-3 years now?
Since 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's been here for a minute. So I mean, I don't at that part. I don't understand him being scared. It's just I watch the games, man, and I don't have nothing against Donnie Kirkpatrick, and I've said this many times. Donnie Kirkpatrick is a great person. He's a good coach, but he's not a play caller. And I'm not knocking Donnie Kirkpatrick, but we need help in that area. I mean, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Last year, his play calling, I truly believe, cost us a lot of a couple of games. But we had the talent last year for him to get away with stuff because we had that talent. But this year we don't have the talent. We don't have Keenan. We don't have somebody that can take a 4-yard run and turn it into a 60-yard run. We don't have that right now. We just don't have the tight ends that we had last year. We don't have the receivers that we had last year, and so it's going to be difficult. I was disappointed that we didn't do as well in the portal as other teams did, and that's one of the things I think we have to take advantage of. The portal is here, and I think it's here to stay. The kids love having the portal. I wish, not that I would do anything with the portal when I was playing, but back then, man, if you want to go to another team, you had to set out a whole entire year.
Yeah.
Before you were able to play. So who wants to sit out a whole year? Nobody wants to do that.
No, the portal is what it is. Like I hate it, but I never played the game. But the bottom line is it's here. You're going to lose some players to it, but you also got to take advantage of it. East Carolina's in a position where, if you have a standout player, you may lose them to an SEC or an ACC or a Big 12 school. But at the same time, there's a lot of players sitting at those SEC, ACC, and Big 12 schools that won't play in time. So you may lose one star player, but you may grab 5 players that are sitting on the bench at those schools that are just as talented as that one star player you lost if you know how to work the portal.
Yeah, but I think too, being East Carolina, if you're playing at East Carolina and you're getting in, I mean, most people don't want to go if you're playing. You know what I mean?
Right. No.
Most players leave because they're not playing.
Well, we lost a couple of guys in the portal that would be starting this year on the O-line.
Because the reason that they left, and it's got to be the coaches. I mean,
it was NIL.
Why would you leave? Why would you leave? You're starting at a Division I school with the opportunity, and most of these guys, I'm pretty sure they're just like we were back then. Their goal is to make it to the NFL, right. Whether they say it or not. They all of them want to play in the NFL because they've been playing football all their lives. So why would you want to go to another team that you may not start at and then stay in East Carolina? So I think that part is more of leaving. Why would you leave East Carolina? The only reason you would leave East Carolina was, you didn't like the coaching staff or you didn't like something about East Carolina for you to go to another place and maybe not play.
NIL, money.
Yeah, that's it. I wish they had the NIL when I was playing too.
I think, that's something that the fans need to we need to step up on and make sure that the funds are there as much as possible for NIL to help the coaching staff, get those guys out of the portal. But yeah, something's got to be done. I mean, it's you'd like to think there's always a chance SMU tomorrow night. Or, who knows? Let me ask you this. SMU's coming in here. We all know SMU's going to the ACC next year. The ACC. Back when Tony Collins played here, if Pat Dye was the head coach, and you had a school coming in here that was in your conference, let's say another school from the SoCon had got invited to the ACC, and they were coming to Greenville, and now they're going to the conference with North Carolina and North Carolina State, and you ain't, and they get and they're coming in Dowdy Ficklen Stadium. Y'all would be ready to kill their asses. Do you think we have that in us this year?
I don't think we got it, man. I just don't. Like I say, if we're gonna turn the season around, we got to turn it around tomorrow, because pretty soon, this is gonna be our 6th game or 5th game or whatever it is. I don't know. 6th game, man. We're halfway through the season, and you can't be 1-5. That just can't happen.
Yeah, no, and Charlotte coming up after that, which is a game that the fan base, if you lose to Charlotte, this fan base is going to, particularly you're 1-5 and you lose to Charlotte, this fan base, if you can't even beat Charlotte, and Charlotte's not a pushover, but they're not great either. They got just as many wins as we do, 1.
Right.
So, but they've been competitive in some games. But, we've got – if we lose to Charlotte, our producer, Bubba Rosenbaum, lives in the Charlotte area. He won't be able to leave his house. And so Bubba's got to be able to get to work and make a living. So, I don't
know, Bubba. I don't know, man. worried about that.
Yes, it will there.
I'm really worried about that.
I'm telling you, these next two, if you not that fired up motivation's going to win you a football game, but SMU going to the ACC, coming in our house, and then Charlotte after that. If these boys can't get up for these two games and at least lay it all on the line, then they don't need to be on the football field.
Yeah, if like I say, if we go, we lose tomorrow night. It's gonna be a tough year to. I mean, it's just gonna be a tough year, man. It's almost gonna be like, what's that coach name who came in after Ruff came here?
Scotty Montgomery.
Oh, Scotty.
I tell you, I've told some people this year, our offense is as bad as Scotty Montgomery's defenses were. I mean, I'm serious. The Scotty Montgomery games got out of hand and the scores got so ugly because we couldn't play any defense.
Yep.
The only reason this team looks better is because we're bad on offense, not on defense. Defense at least makes the score look competitive. But in all actuality, we haven't really, truthfully, with the exception of the Rice game and 3/4 of the Marshall game. You know, I heard Coach Houston say, well, we've been in every game. Well, yeah, we were in the Marshall game for 3/4 and we were in the Rice game. But we weren't in that Appalachian State game once the third quarter started. I don't care what the score was.
No.
So, well, Tony, you wrote a book a couple years ago. It's out there on Amazon. Tell people where they can get your book and about your book.
You can go to Amazon and get it. You can go to my Facebook app and hit me up on my Facebook app or Instagram or Twitter or what else I got? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, yeah, TikTok. It doesn't matter. Hit me up on that. If you want an autographed copy, I'll hook you up. But if you go to Amazon, you won't get an autographed copy, and I think the prices are even a little steeper on Amazon. It may be maybe $4 more with Amazon, but you don't get an autograph. And I wrote the book to help people, man. I went through a tough part of my life, made some bad decisions in the league, and got addicted to painkillers, then marijuana, then cocaine, and it just got out of hand. And I'm here today by the grace of God and my lovely wife, who I always say saved my life.
What was the toughest of those three to get off of you? Was it opioid pain? Was the painkillers opioids?
I have no idea what the painkillers were, man. I mean, the trainers. I mean, back then when we played,
probably Vicodin back in the 80s.
If you got knocked out in the game, they give you the smelling sauce and you get back in the game. It was real football back then. So I mean, and the trainers, you got a bruise or you got a bump, or I mean, they give you the painkillers right there. I have no idea what kind of painkillers they were, but they were addicting painkillers, and they did the job. I mean, I had cracked ribs at the beginning of the season, and I made a choice to play because you remember I came in and when Vegas Ferguson got hurt and when Horace Ivory got hurt, I took their job. So when I got hurt at the beginning of my second year, I wasn't gonna sit down. I wasn't gonna let nobody take my job. I stayed in there, so I made a choice to take painkillers, and I would take painkillers. Well, I would take shots, the cortisone shots in my side because I had cracked ribs before the game, and I take another shot during halftime, and at the end of the game when the cortisone wears off, I'm in pain where I can't hardly even breathe, and forget about coughing or anything like that. And so I'm taking these painkillers, and I'm taking them every day now, and I'm taking the painkillers to wake up. I'm taking the painkillers to go to sleep, man. And it got out of hand, and it just led to one thing to another. And like I said again, by the grace of God, I'm here, I'm living, and I just want to help as many people as possible so they don't have to go down that same road.
No, absolutely. And the reason I touched on the painkillers is the opioid addiction's out of hand in America, really over the last 10 years. And and the shame of it is now doctors have quit prescribing painkillers so much, so it's harder for people to get them, which is good in a way. But now you got the same people switch to heroin, and now they half the time they can't even not that getting pure good heroin's a good thing, but half the time now you get it cut with fentanyl, and you're just killing yourself. I have a good friend. I won't get into the details, but she lost a loved one to that addiction. So if you haven't been touched by it, you know somebody that has.
Absolutely.
So that's a good thing. Yeah, even if you don't have any problems with that, it's still a good read. And when is your book signing at Parker's again?
I'm waiting for them to call me.
We got to arrange that. We got to get Tony Collins to book signing at Parker's.
But before we let Mr. Collins go, I'm going to introduce something different into this night. I call this segment the 2-minute drill.
Okay.
And what this is a few quick hitting questions for Mr. Collins, and
okay.
No wrong answers. So let me know when you're ready. We're going to start the clock.
I'm ready.
Like a 2-minute drill here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Favorite food?
Chicken.
Favorite movie?
Life.
Coke or Pepsi?
He already told you Coke.
Oh God! I knew that was coming. I know what, and this one might go that direction too. Playing on turf or grass?
Grass.
Me too.
We're going to have to call a timeout here in a minute. Get a spike ball or something here. Pineapple on pizza. Do you like it?
No.
You got to be sometimes. So it's got to be in the mood for it. If if you had a pizza buffet, if you're fat like me, you see that Hawaiian pizza, you got to grab a slice.
I like pineapple juice, but I
do that. Yeah,
but I can't eat a pineapple. I don't like it.
I love fresh pineapple, man. A fresh cut pineapple is delicious.
If I eat a pineapple, it's got to be a little cold. It can't be on a hot pizza. That's just Lake or beach?
Beach.
Favorite sport to watch?
Football.
Oh, okay. Favorite music artist?
Favorite music artist?
Yeah.
Oh man, Stevie Wonder.
Gotcha. Hey,
Which favorite Stevie Wonder song?
Oh man, so many.
Can't go wrong with a name like Stevie.
Yeah, I can't. He's got so many, man.
I just called.
Oh, no. There was a lot of great Stevie Wonder songs before that. I'm finding that out now. As a kid, that was probably one of the first ones I remember him putting out. But then, going back now when you got it.
Isn't she lovely?
Very superstitious.
Kyle. I'll tell you this. Once he has his book signed at Parker's, there's going to be a Kyle Barber concert at Parker's.
There you go. That'll get them to come out. They'll come out in droves then.
Oh, my God.
Toughest place to play as a pro or college? Toughest place to play?
Toughest place to play as the pro in college? Probably the toughest place to play in college was North Carolina State. In the pros, man, going to Philly was oh man, those fans are crazy. They're still crazy, man. I think they might have got even crazier.
Yeah. But
Philly.
Favorite NFL memory?
Favorite NFL memory? I have two of them. Our run to the Super Bowl and the game I rushed for 212 yards.
Right. All right. Last but not least, favorite ECU memory?
Favorite ECU memory? Man, I got a lot of them. I remember after we played in the Independence Bowl, and I got to meet John Wayne.
Oh wow!
And that was Grand Marshal.
That was pretty cool.
How long did you get to talk? Did you just shake his hand? Did you have a conversation?
Yeah, shook his hand, and then I can't remember the conversation, but it was like 8 or 9 of us, around him, and he was just talking. I can't remember what he said now. I was just in awe. This is freaking John Wayne, man.
Yeah. So I have to ask this one question before we go, because Robert Diedrich's asking, When you had cracked ribs back then, did you have flak jackets or did you just tape it up?
It was it was a jacket that I had to wear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go, Robert.
All right.
Anything else, Kyle?
I got nothing else, Tony. It was great having you on again, and hopefully you'll come
Absolutely.
on with us again sometime. And remember, everybody, if Tony Collins, if East Carolina upsets SMU tomorrow night, Tony Collins buck naked in the Tar River
Wait,
with a
wait,
Parker's
wait, wait,
barbecue.
wait, 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 wait. I got to add something to it.
Okay. All right.
If East Carolina
Oh,
wins
gosh.
tomorrow night, we're all going to Parker's and we're all going to jump in the Tar River.
All right, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yeah,
All right, we're
let's
all
do
going to
that.
Parker's. We can do it together. All right, that
Have a
works.
good meal at Parker's, and then we'll all jump in the Tar River.
We hold
with
you
it.
to
Let's
it,
go,
Tony.
baby.
All right.
Let's go, ECU.
There you go. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you,
All right,
sir.
guys. You guys take care.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Lady, it was touchdown, Tony Collins and Stevie. Great. I told you, man, if you get him wound up,
Oh, yeah.
he's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this ever since you said he had it on because just hearing him on Pirate Radio some and seeing some of the stuff he's done, I've really been looking forward to talking to him.
No, somebody really missed out from a national media perspective, having him at a desk on game day for college football or NFL. He would have been great at that. But anyway, so SMU tomorrow night. You try to be optimistic. Hey, it's a blackout. It's Thursday night. It's a long way from Dallas to Greenville. I got a feeling SMU is they've lost 2 games to TCU and Oklahoma. I got a feeling, they're in ACC country. The commissioner of the ACC will probably be there tomorrow night. They're probably going to be more interested in showing out and blowing out than beating the Pirates. And sometimes that can get you in trouble. And that's kind of what that's my hope. That's my optimism for this game, is that they're more interested in showing off and thinking it's a sure win. And maybe we got some gadget plays up our sleeves. I can guarantee you we got this one circled for multiple reasons.
Oh, yeah.
So you never know. I think we got a fighter's chance. But sometimes, sometimes talent is just talent, and they have done a hell of a job in the portal. They are very talented. Can we find a way to beat them? Can we fake a punt, block a punt? Can we? Who knows? I think we're going to have to beat them left-handed.
You also have to consider too. You talked about them maybe looking to come in here and show out, blow out, overlooking an opponent.
Yep.
It's happened several times over the years, and this could be one of those games where you overlook an opponent. Thursday night.
It has all the settings for a trap game.
Yes, trap game. That's what I was getting to. Trap game right there for a team like the SMU, and including us. We're trying to be optimistic about it, but including us, there's a lot of people out there that most of the media is saying there's no way ECU is going to beat SMU. So hopefully the ECU players are hearing that and use that as what you call bulletin board material. Nobody's believing in you, and the only ones believe it's you against the world. Yeah. So go out and show out. You're on national TV on Thursday night. Blackout. Dowdy Ficklin will be, I'm sure, on a Thursday night primetime game. They'll be rocking it at Ficklin.
Students, they're expecting about 25,000. A lot of people can't make it there on a Thursday night. There's no extra motivation to with the way we're playing. The students will be there and be loud.
Yeah, the students are going to be loud. What better motivation do you need to be being on prime time against a team that nobody thinks you can beat, and you can go out there and look at the Pirates of the past beating Miami.
All the motivation I need, Stevie, if it were me, it's just the fact that they're going to the ACC.
Yeah, being a team from Texas and your team in North Carolina, and they didn't even ask you to go into the ACC. This team got asked to go into ACC.
No, everything.
I would take that. And look, I have all over the years. I remember back when I was a kid, my granddaddy, rest in peace, used to, he followed ECU too. He said, it makes no sense that they don't put that team in the ACC. One of these days, that ECU is going to show them what they're missing. And, maybe this is the day too. I mean, they've done it several times since then, but this will be another day they can show the ACC what they're missing.
No, we have an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. Your question is, can we do it? And
exactly.
up to this point in the season, we haven't been able to. But you know what, Mike Houston or Donnie, one of the two, this is a game that can. I think it was Donnie that said it. This is a game that can make a lot of things right. If you win this one, you just beat a team that you're a heavy underdog to. You're the team that's going to the ACC, a team that's one of the top front runners in the conference to win it. You suddenly you're 2-4. And you got Charlotte on the clock, and you're optimistic. If you lose this one, then you're just praying you don't lose to Charlotte. So it's I don't know. It could be a I tell you what, if we beat them tomorrow night, it'll be a lot of fun, and it'll be a huge. We're not a monumental upset, but for this team, it would be. It'll be a huge upset, and I was even thinking, you always picture things, and at least I do. I picture things in my head, and I picture last second field goal, you kick it, and then the students running on the field. We haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah,
but just something to turn this season around, and
you got to have a spark.
Yeah, and that Charlotte game next week is so key. Nobody wants to lose that game, and you would really much rather go into it with the mindset, all right, we're turning this thing around, we're playing good football, versus, oh my God, what if we lose to Charlotte? So
this would definitely be a game to get your confidence back with, if you can make a good showing against SMU.
Yeah, no, you want to win it, but even if we play well,
even if you play well, I mean, just
I'm not into
winning would be
victories,
great.
But
Believe me, I would love to see them win, but I would really, really love to see them play a really good game against SMU and say, and walk out and say, hey, they had SMU on the ropes. It wasn't, this is a much better team than what I saw against Rice.
Exactly. Then you build upon that and so on.
Yeah.
Stevie, you mentioned doing the top 5. I did not get a chance to write my top 5.
I didn't either, bud.
Well, there's no top 5 tonight.
Sorry, guys. You've all been waiting for it, but we'll do top 5 barbecue places next week.
That's what I was about to say. We do top 5 barbecue places. I can do that right now, but that's easy for me.
We'll get back up with our top 5 next week. Just to say, this is the last week of football season for me, so we finish up Friday night at Bethel Academy in Kinston. So,
you be in K-Town Friday night?
Do what?
So you're gonna be in K-Town Friday
night?
Yeah,
yeah. I'll be there for a little.
I would go check y'all out. Living in Lake Range, but I'm going to be up in the high country.
Yeah.
We're heading out Friday morning to go to Boone for the weekend. My birthday's Friday, and
your birthday's Friday. Mine's Monday. So
yeah. Well, happy early birthday.
Big 50. I hit the big 50 next Monday.
Well, there you go. Nifty. Stevie's 50. I'm sure you hadn't heard that yet.
I'm sure I'll have. I can't imagine that'll ever be said on Facebook or social media.
I can't.
Nifty. Stevie's turned 50.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It beats the alternative.
Exactly. I'm glad to get there, bud, and I know you are glad to see another year too.
43, and it's did we do a show? Yeah, I already talked about all my results last week.
Oh yeah. I
won't go into that again, but yeah, I'll be 43 and gonna be up in the high country. I always try to go up to Boone, Blowing Rock, Banner Elk, that area around my birthday. I love the fall color up there. I am a complete middle-aged woman when it comes to leaves. I geek out over fall color so much, man. It is. I can't explain it to people how much I love it. To me, it's like the mountains, the Blue Ridge Mountains, when the leaves are changing. It's like it's not real. It's almost like you're in a painting.
There's a picture that somebody took. They put out. I think they put out every year about this time.
App State's baseball stadium.
Yes, see, great minds think alike, and I mean it is just the most beautiful thing. I can see why you do it. I don't go that far with it, but that is something about the change of the colors this time of year. It is pretty beautiful,
dude. If you've never been up there during October, you need to do it sometime. It's it's gorgeous. Just love it up there. Not promoting App State. They can suck it, but I do. Hey, let me tell you guys that another thing, and then we'll wrap this thing up. When you walk around downtown Boone, it is App State everywhere. Walk. They have App State stores just in the middle of downtown. Greenville is very East Carolina centric downtown, but I do think App maybe does it, at least on the retail side, a little bit better than we do.
Wish I could tell you there's actually a friend of mine that runs a bar in Boone, and let's see, he's in Blowing Rock, Town Tavern, Blowing Rock. His name's
Is it a bar and restaurant?
Yes, it's where Luke Combs got his start at. Actually, I don't know if you remember, it was one of the award show last year. Luke Combs performed at. The guy that owns this place, that gave Luke Combs his first job, introduced him. Luke Combs got him down there to introduce him. My daughter and my wife went down last year and talked to him, and he actually graduated from the same school I did, from Northeast Academy. And I want to give him a free shout out there, Justin Davis. So check out if you're down there, Kyle, check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I ate at a bar and restaurant in Blowing Rock. It's not in downtown. It's like out on the highway.
I can't. I've never been in there.
It's got outside dining. Right. I can't remember. I'll look it up and see if it's the same place.
Yeah, if you go by there, ask for Justin and tell him that you know me, and
I'll tell him you said I would eat for free.
He'll probably kick you right out of the bar for that. If you know me. But make sure you check him out if you can. But I think you enjoy it. You probably already been there.
I'm gonna look it up and see. But if not, I'll definitely check it out while we're up there. All right, Stevie. Tomorrow night is ECU SMU. We'll I'm assuming we'll return back to our normal schedule on Sunday,
right? And
have the Pirate playback, and hopefully we'll be taking your calls. And it'll be a few days after the game, obviously. So, we'll if we want it, we'll still be reveling in it. If not, we'll be ready to move on to Charlotte. But by that point. But anyway, all right. So for Stevie Fly, Bubba producing, and of course the legendary touchdown Tony Collins, I'm Kyle Barber. You have been watching and listening to Just Another Sports Podcast on the Sports Objective Podcasting Network. Good night, everybody, and go Pirates.
See ya.